did get out safe. The house ended up being a total loss. There were a lot of tears. Our Farmers Union insurance agent was there the next day, and he not only came to see how we were doing, but he brought us a check to say, you know what, here's a little bit of money to get you guys going, and had us paid out in full within 2 weeks.
Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
We picked the right insurance company.
The Monument Toros pick up a franchise best 38-win season and cruise to a Central Division regular season championship. The Toros are now back at home for the Robertson Cup playoffs, and the 2017 chase is on for the Robertson Cup championship, with the Toros opening up on their home ice this Friday and Saturday when the Aberdeen Wings come to town. It's April 11th in the week for Tauros Weekly. It's the playoff edition of Tauros Weekly. I'm Nick Hulberg. Thanks for joining us tonight from Elevation here at the Minot Country Club. On tonight's show, we'll talk to Austin Koss, Reid Steffenson, and the head coach and GM, Mr. Marty Murray. Well, let's hop into it and look back to last weekend where the Toros finished off their regular season schedule in front of two great crowds at the Mesa Arena Pepsi rink. On Friday night, the Toros packed in 1,994 fans, and they definitely didn't leave disappointed. Toros cruised past the Minnesota Wilderness by a score of 4-1. Spencer Zweiner had a goal. Austin Koss scored. Martinson had a goal. Zach Bross continued to tear with a goal. Diddle had 2 assists in the hockey game. Lucas Murray picks up win number 20 on the year, stopping 34 of 35 shots in the 4-1 win on Friday. On to Saturday. The Toros didn't have the same luck. They fall 3-2 in a good dogfight here with the number 1 and number 2 teams inside the Central Division. It was Austin Park that got the call. He stopped 33 of 36. He was tagged with the loss. Friends had a goal on the night. Adams had a goal. Steffenson had 2 assists in the hockey game. There was 1,794 fans in attendance on Saturday night, and there was an engagement that happened right at center ice, which was kind of big news for Toros hockey. All sorts of fun stuff happening there to end the season. What does that do for the Central Division and the way that the Central Division falls into place at the end of the season when it all settles in? The Toros finished with 80 points on the year. They finished their last 10 games going 6-4 in their last 10. A combined record of 38, 18-4 on the season. They are division champions for the regular season, 10 points better than the Minnesota Wilderness, who lock in a playoff spot, 32, 22-6 for their record. Brookings and Aberdeen both clinch playoff spots. That means that Aberdeen and Minot will go toe-to-toe. Minnesota and Brookings will go toe-to-toe. That's round number 1 of the Central Division playoffs. Bismarck and Austin, 2 teams that have been household names in the final for the Central Division. They didn't make the call this year here in the 2017 chase. Toros end the season with a home record of 19-8-3. The road record finishes at 19-10-1. What did the players do that led the way in the scoring chase? Well, it was Reid Steffenson, the Winnipeg, Manitoba product, that finishes number 7 for the entire North American League with rookie points, 53 of those for Steffenson, 21 goals, 32 assists for him. Derek Frantz right behind him, 52 points for him on the season. That came to the tune of 15 goals, 37 assists for the North Mankato, Minnesota product. Alex Adams, he's number 3 in scoring for the Toros. He had 48 points on the year, but that came to the tune of 29 goals, 19 assists. That was 5th in the North American League for goals. That was 1st for rookies in goals. A nice year for Alex Adams. He continues to hope that that streak will continue into playoff time. Tyler Jeanson returned Saturday night. He was gone for 8 games, a whole month of hockey, 42 points for him. He didn't have any points on his return night. He did lead the Toros out onto the ice for introductions, however. Zach Bross, number 5 in scoring, 40 points for him, 36 for Nate Pionk. Nolan Sawchuk, the D-man, cracks the top 10 at number 7. 32 points for him, 4 goals on the year. He's a plus 28 for the Toros and a good number to have. Chase Springman, number 8 for the Toros with 29 points. He tied Jake Diddle. Diddle again had the 2 assists on Friday night as the D-man for the Toros inside the top 10. When we look at that all-time points chase and the leaders all-time line. We've had our eye on this thing for about 2 months now, and it was a close race at the finish. Christian Mose, who's off playing college D1 hockey right now, still leads the way, 101 points. That will stay for at least another year as Chase Springman only gets to 95. Derek Frentz gets to 92. Tyler Jeanson gets all the way up to 73 points in the career for the Tauros. Congratulations to Springman, Frentz, and Jeanson. Anytime you're in the top 5 for the Tauros organization in points all time, good things have happened. And you look at the crease now, and inside the blue paint, it's Austin Park that sits on the 216 goals against average, 283 for Lucas Murray. These goaltenders, number 5 and number 17, respectively, inside the North American League with the goals against average. Park, 9 wins in his last 10 starts. Again, these two guys look to carry the Tauros to the promised land come postseason time. Combined 2.58 goals against average and a .912 save percentage, numbers that any team should be proud of. Well, when we come back, we'll talk to Marty Murray, the head coach and GM of the Tauros. We'll preview the playoff matchup with the Aberdeen Wings. We'll look around the North American Hockey League, and we'll also discuss the last matchup with the Minnesota Wilderness. This is the playoff edition of Tauros Weekly. We'll be back right after this.
I had got a call. They thought my house might be on fire. My wife was at work and my son was at school. Smoke was just rolling out, and then you'd see the flames coming up. A very helpless feeling watching, knowing there's nothing you can do. You just stand there and watch. Very emotional. Farmers Union Insurance did such an excellent job with us. I can't imagine any insurance company doing a better job. Dreams, memories, everything was put back together the way it should be to get us right back on course.
Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
Get your dancing shoes on and head to Minot's Mesa Pepsi Arena May 12th and 13th. 2 big nights featuring Chubby Checker, Johnny Tillotson, and Freddie Cannon on Friday. Saturday's lineup brings Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon, Brian Hyland, and Joey D and the Starlighters. Rocky and the Rollers will be jamming both nights. Get your tickets online at visitminot.org and minotauroshockey.com or in person at all Minot Marketplace Foods locations.
For the first time in franchise history, the Tauros were the top team in the standings after the regular season came to an end. We're with Marty Murray, the head coach and GM, and the reason why the Tauros were so successful this year. First of all, thanks for some time here at the Country Club, as always, on a Tuesday afternoon.
My pleasure, Nick.
Let's go back to this season. Before we talk about playoff time coming up in the last weekend, overall, Marty, you just have to be tickled pink with a new franchise record for wins on the year and committing more kids to college hockey, and overall attendance records were through the roof. In a whole, Tauros hockey this year in a nutshell, boy, you just have to be satisfied, aren't you?
Yeah, it was a great year, and hopefully the best is yet to come. But I think, it's pretty unusual to start the day one of the season in first place and not leave first spot in the division. I'm proud of our guys for attaining that goal, and like I said, it's a tough division. It was hard to stay up there all year long. We had some close calls where teams were nipping at our tail, but in the end we persevered, and it was nice to be able to stay in first all season long.
Let's go back to last weekend, a matchup on Friday night, a 4-1 win. This game had it all sorts of highlight reel goals. There was a fight in the contest, 1,900 people inside the Mesa, almost 2,000. Your thoughts on Friday night? That was an entertaining hockey game from my vantage point.
I thought it was. We sat out some key players, and I thought it was an opportunity for some guys to step up and play a role maybe a little bit bigger than they have most of the year. And I thought some guys really answered the bell, and it was nice to see. And I thought we had a complete effort, getting some goals from some different guys, and it was a fun effort to watch from the bench for sure.
Saturday night, not the same outcome, not the outcome you're looking for. The Wilderness team, they were hungry for a win themselves. They win 3-2, but your top line again performs very well. Your thoughts on Saturday night? That game, I don't want to say was a sleeper, just wasn't quite like Friday night.
I didn't think we had the intensity we needed to, and it's been a tough grind the last month, and we've all but had first place, I think, wrapped up for a while now, and those games are hard to get up for. And overall, I was proud of the way our guys played down the stretch, and it was important that we played well going into the playoffs. And obviously going into game 60 would have been nice to win, but I just think that it was kind of a weight off their shoulder that the regular season was done. We didn't have the effort we wanted to, but not putting a ton of stock into that either.
Kind of interesting to see the way that the lines fell into place and your decisions made on the weekend, and kind of a nice ace in the hole, if you will, knowing that you can rest 3 of your top studs, even more than that, some guys on the back end, and still find a way to win, and with a pretty big margin, 4-1 on Friday night.
Yeah, we had contributions from, it was nice to see Koss get a goal and Zwiner, and Bross was on the scoreboard. It was good. We had contributions, and come playoff hockey, you're going to need contributions from everybody, and that's been the success of our team this year is our depth, and it was proven again on Friday night.
You've kind of had the mentality, and I've kind of taken from you this whole year long after we've gotten through that February month, and then towards the end of the year a little bit more and more. This top team in the Central Division really doesn't matter a whole lot to you guys. You've got another goal in mind as we take a look at the Robertson Cup playoff bracket, knowing that the Tauros, when you see this, are number 5 in the North American League according to records. But you look at the divisions here, Marty, and you see that the Tauros up at the top in the left-hand corner of your screen, they're the team to beat inside the Central. Then you look down, the Aston Rebels sitting on the number 1 spot, 46-11, 2-1. They're on the top of that second bracket on the left side. Johnstown sits on a 40-16, 3-1 mark, 3-1 mark for them, number 4 inside the North American League. You hop over to the right side of the page here, and 42-13, 1-4 for the Janesville Jets. They're the number 3 team in the league right now. And then you look at the Lone Star Brahmas on the top of the bracket in the South Division, 44-14-2, number 2 overall. Looking at this matchup and looking at the Robertson Cup playoffs, obviously you have to take care of business on your home ice first and inside the Central Division first, but knowing how tough the Central Division is kind of has to have you guys licking your chops a bit, knowing that there's some other teams around the league that if you get to that point in the season where you get to play for a national championship, you guys have a pretty good shot at this thing.
Well, I guess we think we have a decent shot at going all the way. That's everybody's goal to make the playoffs, but we're not looking too far ahead at all. I mean, we have a very tough opponent in Aberdeen. They've been one of the strongest teams in the whole league here in 2017, and their record was almost identical to ours in the second half of the season. So, that's our focus right now. There's some impressive records around the league, but Aberdeen is our focus right now. They have a good, strong team that actually reminds me a lot of us. They have 4 lines that roll every night. They have strong goaltending, and they're big and mean on the back end. So it's going to be a challenge for us. They've played some good hockey. They've played playoff hockey probably the second half of the year. So it's going to be up to us on Friday night to try to set the tone for the series.
When we look at the season series and the list of games that the Tauros and the Wings have gotten together for, when you look at this list of the games that have played, 12 in total, the Tauros combined for a record now of 8-3-1 on the year against the Wings. One thing that stands off the paper to me is that plenty of times here you guys have won 2 in a row, 3 in a row, 2 in a row at certain times in the season. Aberdeen did not beat you guys more than once in a row in the year. Does that give you any added confidence going into this series?
It's hard to say. I mean, sometimes you say, yeah, that's, we have the advantage going in, and sometimes you can say you can just throw all that out the window. But, that being said, our last game was against Aberdeen was on January 26th. That's over 2.5 months ago. So they've made some personnel changes. They've grown, I think, a lot as a team. And, even cutting video, getting ready for the playoff series, I, went to games against other teams, more recent ones, than we did in our regular season series.
Looking at the by the numbers slide for the Tauros and Aberdeen Wings coming into playoff time now, on paper the Tauros obviously have a pretty good club here. Number 1 team in the division. Aberdeen will be the number 4 seed. When you look at some of the names for Aberdeen, Carter Rue, Strada, Tyler Bossert, Dimoff, these guys, we talk about it each and every time that we have a matchup inside the Central. How much more focus goes into these guys now that it's playoff time? Some of those special players really become that much more special when the heat is on.
Yeah, you need your best players to be your best players at playoff time, and what happens a lot of times in the playoffs is the first lines might saw each other off, so you're looking from outside contributions, and it's a great opportunity and great timing for that secondary scoring that we have to step up here. I think that'll be a key in the series if we can get that going.
Perfect lead into my next question for you. How tough is it going to be to decide a lineup for you guys? You're going to have to sit some players that definitely deserve to be in the lineup, and any way you go with your lineup, you know that you're going to have guys that are going to give you what you need to win. How hard is that decision going to be to make?
It's the toughest part of my job, no question about it. They're all good kids. They're all very deserving of playing, and they've all contributed to our team's success this year. And even though there's a few guys that won't be in game 1, I think they'll have be able to put their stamp on the playoffs for us. I think everybody will get a chance, and I know when that happens, they'll be ready to go. 2 good goaltenders back there in the blue paint. They say goaltending can win championships. For you, do you have confidence, the same confidence in both kids, or is one standing out right now at this point in the year? They both played well. Parksy's been among the leaders here the last couple months, and Lucas, his last couple games have been real strong, and it provides that veteran leadership in the crease too. So I haven't made an announcement on who's starting yet. We'll probably do that in the next couple days. But we feel very comfortable with who starts game one.
How big is home ice at the Pepsi Rink Mesa Arena last weekend? The place was just rocking with just about 2,000 in there, and my guess is that there'll probably be even more than that for the playoffs coming up. How much of an advantage does that give you guys?
Well, I think it certainly helps us for sure. It's a very fun environment to play in the Pepsi Arena when it gets rocking and you're pushing over 2,000 people in there. It's a fun environment, and our guys certainly feed off that. And we're hoping we can utilize that. We worked hard all year to get home ice in the first 2 rounds, and it's up to us to take advantage of that.
This is a question that I've asked you a handful of times now, knowing where we're at inside the division and knowing that championship or bust in a sense. How disappointing would this year be as a whole if you guys don't come out of the Central Division holding the crown and heading to the Robertson Cup tournament?
Well, I think it'd be very disappointing. I think we've had a terrific regular season, but that being said, a lot of 1-goal games that we won this year, and you come up on the other side of that, all of a sudden your record doesn't look as good, and we have the utmost respect for our opponents in our division. It's going to be tough. We feel like we play in the most competitive division in the league, and hopefully that gets us ready for the playoffs and beyond.
Final question I have for you. I accidentally shaved off my goatee. I had the wrong guard on my razor the other day. How do you think my playoff beard's coming in, Marty? You think it looks all right?
I think you're going to maybe turn out to be a Brett Burns by the time this is all finished. Now.
Yeah, well, the playoffs don't last that long. It'll take a couple years. Marty, we appreciate your time, and great job on the season. Best of luck come playoff time here.
Thanks, Nick.
That's Marty Murray, the head coach and GM of the Tauros. When we come back, we'll talk to Austin Koss. He was named the hardest working Toro by his teammates here in 2016-2017. We'll have his thoughts when we return.
We think the fire started in our bedroom. Thankfully, we all did get out safe. The house ended up being a total loss. There were a lot of tears. Our Farmers Union insurance agent was there the next day, and he not only came to see how we were doing, but he brought us a check to say, you know what, here's a little bit of money to get you guys going, and had us paid out in full within 2 weeks.
Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
We picked the right insurance company.
When you need a windshield chip repaired, why settle for just professional service when you can receive personal service too? At Choice Auto Glass, we take a hassle-free approach to replacing cracked and broken glass on cars and trucks by working directly with your insurance. But it's more than that. It's the attention we put into making sure your vehicle is returned to you clean and in proper repair. Choice Auto Glass. We're not the only one. We're simply the best one.
California kid joins us now. He's got shorts and a polo on here for Tauros Weekly. It's Austin Koss from Huntington Beach, California. Recently voted the hardest working Toro at the awards banquet at the end of the year. First of all, Austin, thanks for some time here this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Nick.
First of all, for you, how big of an accomplishment is that, knowing that your peers inside that locker room think that out of all the guys on the club that you're the hardest working out of all of them? That has to be quite the honor.
I mean, yeah, I take pride in it. I mean, I love all my teammates. I appreciate that they voted me to be the hardest worker. I just try to be myself every day on the ice and off the ice, just put in the work I can whenever I can to be the best player and person I can be.
I see at the YMCA lifting weights all the time. How much of that, if you just want to touch on that for the fans at home, how much off-ice training goes into your regiment and the diet and all that sort of stuff to be able to do what you do?
I mean, usually, so Mondays, Tuesdays, we usually have, after practice, we go work out with the team at Heilman's gym, and then Wednesdays we go to yoga. And usually after those, I go to the YMCA for about 2 hours of my time and lift weights, do some interval training of sprints, and just some cardio too.
It's fun seeing some of that hard work pay off for you this weekend. In my mind, I thought Friday night that your line of Muka, Koss, Craddock, I thought you guys were the best line on the ice. You guys certainly got rewarded with some points. For you, scoring the 4th of the year, that hasn't exactly been your role as a goal scorer this year, but feels pretty good netting one of those goals now and then.
Yeah, I mean, it felt great to end my scoring drought. I think the last time I scored was late November in Brookings, but it's not my role to score goals every single game, but it is nice to get one every once in a while. I
don't know if we have the stat sheet of how many shots you block in a game, but boy, it's an impressive number, and it's certainly a part of the game that's sometimes overlooked when you look at guys like Reid Steffenson, who we'll bring on next, who's got the points chase lead all time for the Tauros in a single season. But for you, those little elements of your game, the blocking shots and the hard work that pays off out there, how much pride do you take in that game, and how beat up are the wrists and ankles after a full season of blocking those shots?
I love blocking shots, honestly. I love going on the penalty kill and getting the boys going. I always like to hear the energy off the bench when I block a shot. I actually, past 3 nights, I've been icing my ankle. I took one of the ankle from, I think, number 25 from the Wilderness. But so I've got some bruises on my body, but it's all right. You just ice it and it goes away.
Now that we come up on playoff time and knowing how much depth is in this lineup for the Tauros and knowing how many guys, asking Marty, how do you make a decision on who sits on some of these nights? For you, knowing that role is a role that you're going to play maybe in and out of the lineup, wanting, of course, to be in there, how do you keep your mind right going game to game and trying to be in that playoff lineup?
You always want to be fresh. Obviously, everyone wants to earn their spot in the lineup, especially for playoffs. Just do the things you have been doing all season. Don't try to do anything special. Don't try to get nervous or anything. Just do what you're best at, and things will work out for the best.
You guys win the Central Division regular season championship, and now trying to raise the crown of division champions for the playoffs, and then the big one, of course, the Robertson Cup championship. For you, what would a championship in the playoffs mean, not only at the Central Division level, but league-wide level as well?
It'd be awesome. Every one of our teammates would be noticed by, I'm assuming, tons of scouts. Every chance we go further, it's a better opportunity for us to get noticed by scouts and colleges.
For you, when you look at this lineup and being a part of this team, is there anything in your mind that is an Achilles heel for the club that you think might prohibit you guys from winning a division championship or a league championship? To me, you guys look about as sound as can be.
We just gotta do the simple things on the ice, on and off the ice. Just be ourselves, just do what we have been doing the whole season, and hopefully it'll work out for the best.
How much fun are you having in Minot, North Dakota, playing for the Tauros?
I'm having a lot of fun. Obviously not as much to do as where I'm from in California, but I really enjoy it. I enjoy the people here. I enjoy the culture. Love my billets. It's an awesome town, and I really enjoy it here. What
are you expecting out of the Pepsi rink coming up for playoff time? That place has been rocking in the regular season. Playoffs is going to be a whole new animal.
Yeah, it has been pretty crazy. A lot of fans. Hoping we get a lot more fans too. It'd be the energy in the whole arena would be awesome. So.
Sure appreciate your time here this afternoon. Great job in the season. Congratulations on that Hardest Worker Award for you, and another nice weekend. Best of luck come playoff time.
Thank you, Nick.
That's Austin Koss, forward for the Minot Minotauros. When we come back, we'll talk to one of his counterparts, Reid Steffenson, who had a big season up front for the Tauros. We'll hear his thoughts when we return.
Meet the professionals of Trinity Sports Medicine. Trinity Sports Medicine has been serving the region's athletes and physically active population for more than 25 years. All of the athletic trainers at Trinity Sports Medicine are licensed in North Dakota and work side by side with Sports Medicine Medical Director Dr. Dawn Mattern to ensure the best possible care. Our professionals provide specialized medical care for preventing and treating injuries for the active people in our community. These medical professionals work hard to keep you healthy. But if an injury does happen, you can rely on the skilled athletic trainers to get you moving or back in the game again. It doesn't matter if you play for a competitive sports team or enjoy being active to stay healthy. You are part of the Trinity Sports Medicine family.
Does the name Blake Lizotte ring a bell? Well, it should. He was one of the best players all time in Tauros hockey history. His season high, 52 points, was the record for a season total until the gentleman to my right joined the Tauros. This is Reid Steffenson, the new all-time points leader for a season. And first of all, thanks for some time here this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's talk about that stat that I just gave. And Blake Lizotte's a player now that plays for the Fargo Forest in the USHL. And you joined some pretty good company at the top of the ladder. 53 points on the year, 21 goals, 32 assists. First of all, what does that mean to you, knowing that you've got that title right now of maybe the best all time up front for the Tauros?
Yeah, it's obviously a huge honor to, have that title. But obviously you got to give credit where credit's due. And Marty's been giving me some great opportunities this year that I've kind of capitalized on, and playing with two real good line mates in Derek Friends and Alex Adams for most of the year has definitely helped with my success. 53
points for you, Friends right behind you, 52, 48 for Alex Adams. That race that you had going between your line mates there, how much did you guys communicate about that and joke about that stuff? Was that on your guys' mind moving forward?
Not much for me personally, I guess. Obviously there was a little bit joking around in the locker rooms here and there from even different guys, but the three of us kind of just like to boost each other's confidence and play the best that we can together, and obviously it translates to a few goals here and there, which is pretty nice.
Winnipeg, Manitoba, your hometown. You come down to Minot, North Dakota. Derek Friends, Alex Adams, these two line mates for you Are these the two best players that you've ever played with? And if not, who are the guys that are above those guys in caliber maybe that have gone on to some other places?
Yeah, I mean, from back home in Winnipeg, Manitoba, I played with a few key guys that actually have some Division I commits, but obviously here it's been some really good chemistry with Alex Adams going to Air Force, and I'd be pretty shocked if Derek didn't really get anything from a D1 school, but I'd definitely say they're up there with the chemistry between the three of us.
I was in a garage after the hockey game enjoying a wobbly pop, if you will, with the color commentator that did the game on Beck Sports. His name's Tony Swearingen, and we had the argument of whether or not you were old enough to come back or young enough to come back to Tauros hockey. It turns out you are young enough to come back next year, but do you have a plan right now? You're already committed to UMass Lowell. Are you going to make your way over to the college ranks, or are you going to be back as a Toro next year, or is that still up in the air?
Yeah, coming back's definitely still up in the air. I mean, I think it's kind of out of my hands. It's kind of whatever UMass Lowell needs, they're going to bring me in, or they're not. There wasn't really a set year that I'd go in, but obviously I'd like to go in, but if I did come back, I'd be really excited to come back here for another year.
Off to the team stuff now. After we got the personal stuff out of the way, for you, Central Division regular season champions. Now you guys are going to look for the postseason championship inside the Central Division. How good is this hockey team around you, man? I mean, obviously you guys are the tops right now in the division, if not the league. How confident are you moving forward with the club that you have around you?
Really confident. I mean, I think like you touched on, I believe we have the tightest division in the Central Division, but moving forward here, we got to just keep doing the things that we've been doing throughout the whole year here. So we've got really good depth from our goaltenders to our D-men to our forwards, and hopefully we can do something special here in the postseason. You
guys have the Aberdeen matchup right out of the gate, and this is a team that you've played 12 times on the year, handled them fairly well, 8-3-1 on the season. For you, is there something special that stands off on the keys to the game for the matchup for the Toros to take this series in three, or hopefully within the 5?
I don't think there's anything specific. I mean, we haven't seen them in a long time, I don't think since January, and they've had a pretty incredible second half for any team across the league. So I think just, again, doing the things that we've been doing all year, getting pucks and traffic to the net, having secondary, third scoring from all different sorts of lines will help us out.
That room is full of veteran players and guys that have been in big situations and playoff situations in years past, yourself included. For you, what kind of experience are you bringing to the table, and knowing that the vets in the room have some of that same experience to offer come playoff time here?
Yeah, there's a lot of different guys in the room that have played 3, 4 years in the league, and obviously it's a tremendous help to have that maturity in the locker room to settle some of the younger guys down, or get guys up when they have to get. So hopefully they can do a good job, myself included, and go for a long run here.
Playoff time right here, right now, and for you, is there any special rituals you do? Are you superstitious at all? Do you do goofy stuff, Eye of the Tiger in the headset while eating pasta, anything crazy like that before these playoff games coming around the corner?
I guess, yeah, I do a few weird things, I'd have to admit, but I don't really think I should get into that here on the camera, but needless to say, I do a few weird things.
Oh, that's cool. Well, you've got everybody thinking now for sure. Congratulations on such a great year, and just fantastic having you wear that Tauros sweater. Great job with the points on the season and being a leader of this hockey club. Best of luck come playoff time here.
Thank you very much.
That's Reid Steffenson for the Minot Toros, the top producing point getter with 53 after the 60 games of the regular season haul came to a close. When we come back, we'll quickly preview the weekend against Aberdeen in this first round playoff matchup. Central Division Championship up for grabs, so is the Robertson Cup Championship. It's playoff time for Toros hockey. We'll preview that when we return.
We think the fire started in our bedroom. Thankfully, we all did get out safe. The house ended up being a total loss. There were a lot of tears. Our Farmers Union insurance agent was there the next day, and he not only came to see how we were doing, but he brought us a check to say, you know what, here's a little bit of money to get you guys going, and had us paid out in full within 2 weeks.
Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
We picked the right insurance company.
Mesa Arena and Pepsi Rink has been selected as one of the candidates and finalists for Kraft Hockeyville USA for the second straight year. This is just a fantastic award for Minot's hockey facility, the Mesa Arena. Go to crafthockeyvilleusa.com, just crafthockeyville.com. Again, crafthockeyville.com. And vote for the Mesa Arena for their chance to win all sorts of cash and prizes, $150,000 grand prize, and an NHL preseason matchup if the Tauros Arena, the Pepsi Rink and Mesa Arena can be named Kraft Hockeyville USA. Again, crafthockeyville.com. Go vote for the Mesa. Well, that same venue is going to be the home of the first round of the playoffs in the Central Division. It's Minot against Aberdeen. Quickly by the numbers, the Toros 8-3-1 against the Wings on the season in the 12 games played. The numbers that hop off the paper to me, the goals against per game, 2.6 for the Toros, 3.08 for Aberdeen. Look for Alex Adams, Steffenson, and Jeanson, who have all dominated in the series, to dominate here again. Tickets are available at MinotaurosHockey.com till warm-ups on Friday night. I'm Nick Hulberg. We'll see you then.